Welcome to Hood. Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Self-destruction. You're heading for self-destruction. God damn. They told Charlo, Terrence Crawford may be coming for him, and my boy self-destructed, didn't he? Now, one of the subscribers mentioned something in the comments about that, and I started cracking up. So I got to do a video. But that's what it seems like. He saw Terrence Crawford beat the crap out of Earl Spence. Charlo was in the crowd talking about, I already did that. I already did that. F that. Blah, blah, blah. The man he couldn't even enjoy the goddamn fight. Charlo was in the crowd. It's like he was ready to fight whoever was sitting next to him in the audience just because the guy asked him a question. So my boy went crazy, ended up putting his hands on somebody, got arrested, some legal issues, and all of a sudden he's disappeared from the sport of boxing. It's amazing what Terrence Crawford does to these guys. And I would imagine if you knew you had to fight someone like Terrence Crawford and you sat there and witnessed him whip your buddy's butt like that, you probably wouldn't want to deal with it either. That's like having a sibling who's running his mouth and being disrespectful to mommy and daddy. And daddy and mommy say, okay, all right, that's one. It's one strike. All right, we'll get you for the old and new. And then when they finally put hands on that little ass, and you as a sibling sitting there watching that shit, you like, hell no. And I think that's what happened with Charlo. But on a more serious note, it wasn't long ago, around the end of September, where the conversation was, hey, will Charlo fight Terrence Crawford? Is he going to go directly into another possible super fight after coming off to the Canelo loss? Because they did some shady stuff to him, I ain't going to lie. He go up to fight Canelo, and then they take his IBF strap. That was foul. But, the secret society, they're never sleeping, and they're always at work. But you still got to understand, even though some people are looking at Jamel a little differently, because they feel like he entered that fight with Canelo, it didn't put forth his best effort. They felt like, hey, he just went in there to collect a payday. And I can fully understand how someone arrived at that conclusion. But I don't agree with that. I said it before and I'll say it again. I think when he got in the ring with Canelo, he had every intention on imposing his way and expecting to have some tough spots in the fight, like his fights at 154, but somehow managing to find a way to win, put the Houston, Texas Bing Bings on his opponent, and come out victorious. But that's not what happened. Canelo had other plans. He gave him a taste. He gave him a taste of that Guadalajara Bing Bing, and Charlo said, hell no. He probably felt he was better off fighting Terrence Crawford than fighting Canelo, because for the rest of the fight, he did have great defense, and he did avoid getting hit with shots. But for the most part, he just got on his bicycle and didn't want to engage in a mash-up, crash-up. But that being said, Charlo, let me tell you something. Over the last few years, Charlo, he has not managed to become a mainstay. He had done everything he could possibly do. Cracked into the pound-for-pound rankings because he earned that. And we can't take that from him. But when you look at him right now, man, the guy was undisputed. And they took all of his belts. All of his belts, man. I wonder what they would have done if he would have beat Canelo. But it didn't happen. So you still would have expected for that to be a big fight, Jamel and Terrence Crawford. But Terrence Crawford comes out, he saw the way Jamel performed, and he said, I don't want to fight him no more. Some people said Terrence Crawford was putting duck sauce on the fried rice. Now, I don't know if I agree with that. But they said that was Terrence Crawford's way of saying, damn, if Jamel can get in there with Canelo and make Canelo miss and look bad at times, like he can't cut the ring off and catch up to him, then if he gets in there with me, maybe he makes me look bad, maybe he lands something. Now, when I hear people say that, this is the shit that drives me crazy with some of these boxing fans. They just get so one-dimensional when it comes to their thought processes. that they can't think logically. Why would Terrence Crawford watch a performance like what Jermall Charlo put on against Canelo and say, oh, I don't want to fight him now, I'm afraid? Crawford's not putting duck sauce on no fried rice. Crawford probably said, nah, that probably won't be much competition. But nonetheless, I still think Crawford should have pushed for the fight. But anyway, he didn't. So now you take a look now, when it comes to all the sporting news lists, when it comes to the rack and stacks, the pound-for-pound listing, man, Jermell Charlo has been, I mean, they dropped his ass with the quickness. And I still think that's wrong. You know, you want to take him from move him down a spot or something, but just remove him from all the lists, I think that's foul. Just like taking all of his belts, I think that's foul. Because we got to understand, nobody beat him at 154. You know, he went up and, you know, was destined to be great and challenged Canelo. Okay, he didn't pass the test, but still, you gonna come treat the man like he's a total failure when it comes to boxing? No, Jermell Charlo needs more respect on his name. But I do think he's self-destructed in a way because it's so much pressure on him. Because really, he can't lose now. Imagine if he would have gone to a super fight with Crawford. You figure they'd be fighting about now, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. They'd probably be fighting about right now because he didn't take any damage from Canelo. Imagine if he would have, were to lose or would have lost to Terrence Crawford. Man, you know, nobody's going to understand he fought Canelo and Crawford. They're going to sit back and say his career is over. They'll forget about everything that he accomplished. And I think that kills him more than anything is knowing if he goes into a fight and loses. I just think he already explodes all the time, but I think what we're seeing with him is an implosion, an emotional implosion. And that's why he's not here. I understand the legal issues, but I think there's so much more going on with Jermell Charlo. But nonetheless, man, you can move up 2 weight classes and get busy with Canelo. Now you're out here, and no one knows what you're going to do in your own weight class, 154. Some people saying that, look, he's not going back down. He may go to 160, but after going up to 168, it'll be a suicide mission, kind of like Roy Jones coming down from heavyweight back down to fight Antonio Tarver. It's just too much of a weight cut. I don't know if I agree with that, but I would think if he was going to come down gradually, maybe take a fight at 160, then meet Crawford at 154, or if Crawford wants to meet him halfway, maybe Crawford comes to 160. But right now, I don't know, because Jermell Charlo's, his old mentality was beating Canelo, and then he has the throne. He becomes undisputed at 168, and people are going to just be sitting back watching him with their tongues hanging out their mouth, wondering what the hell just happened, while he's going to be sitting there laughing at him, planning his next move. Now, I'm going to tell you this. People keep saying Crawford becoming undisputed at 40 and 47, how he's biting off too much, right? I don't know if he's biting off too much. It's just like people talk about Devin Haney. He was undisputed at 135, 140. He shouldn't go to 147. Y'all know Devin Haney was fighting at 140, and him and his father made a decision to kill himself to get down at 135 so he could basically weight bully opponents and clean up the division. Stars just happened to line up for Devin Haney, and he got the 4-for-1 deal, and he was able to beat Kambosos. Life is good. Terrence Crawford was killing himself to get down to 135. Did great at 135, undisputed at 140, at 147. So I don't think Terrence Crawford going to 154, even 160, is unrealistic. I don't think so. And I don't think he's biting off more than he can chew. I think if Crawford, when he fights at 154, I think he's going to shut a lot of people up. And I think, if anything, if Jermell Charlo just happens to be in the crowd and he watches Crawford get in the ring at 154 and beating somebody, I think Jermell Charlo is just going to I think that motherfucker is going to go crazy in the crowd and start biting people. But anyway, just understand this. As far as Jermell Charlo, Terrence Crawford, there's bad blood there. It'll be the perfect duel. But I don't see it happening now. I just don't see it. Everybody talking about shocking the world, fighting Canelo, giving people what they want. But I'm just not so sure that at this point, if Crawford's aiming for Canelo, and I'm not so sure at this point if Jermell's aiming for Terrence Crawford. I don't know what these guys are trying to do, and I'm going to be honest with you. But what I will tell you right now is I think it'd be very interesting still to see Charlo and Terrence Crawford get busy in the ring, because my understanding is those guys both use ice cuts to get the weight down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. No roadblocks in the way right now. The only issue I think is just taking a look at PBC and what PBC has going on with their money issues and the financial distress that they seem to be in. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man, Charlo, it just seems to me it was like a domino effect. Once he found out, hey, Terrence Crawford, the boogeyman, may be coming for you, my boy just self-destructed. And ever since then, it seems to be a downward spiral. But hey, when you make, my understanding, people saying he only made $6 million. No, my understanding is Charlo made closer to $20 million with all the, see, you get the pay-per-view revenue, you get sponsorships, and there's other modes of revenue that these fighters, a percentage of that these fighters receive. So at the end of the day, when the dust settled, word on the street is Charlo made closer to like $20 million. So what's his motivation really to come back to the sport of boxing and get up and train and go in there and fight killers, man? When you make plus, remember, they were already making money. But the idea that he just made damn near 20, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, 20 million. Yo, man, say what you want. He may be self-destructing, but he's self-destructing with a fat bank account. Y'all keep cool. Y'all, I'm in the breeze.